after all those years for what I had been through. Did you ever thought of me even better than ever? Well, now I am. There's no telling what I have been up to. No, there is no telling what. But you will see.
Duncan was so impatient he became even more careless. "I'll show that smelly diesel and those lazy steamers," he said to his driver. "Careful," cautioned his driver. "You're asking for trouble." And he got it. Duncan didn't notice his chain was tangled in the coupling of the slate car in front of him. Suddenly, he was being pulled up the track by the empty slate cars. "Bouncing bogies," he cried. "It's got me!" Duncan's driver jumped clear. Rusty returned to see Duncan being pulled up the incline. "I tried to warn him," said Rusty. "He never listens," the little diesel's driver said. The chain pulling Duncan's slate cars couldn't hold the weight. It suddenly snapped. Duncan plummeted down the incline. "Help!" he yelled. "Glug, glug, glug," he said. "Bluggle my bloiler." Duncan felt foolish and very wet. When Sir Topham Hatt arrived, he spoke severely to Duncan. "You have not been a responsible engine," he said. "Your impatience has caused confusion and delay, and you owe these engines an apology." "Sorry," Duncan said to Rusty, Reneas, and Skarloey. "Once you have been repaired," Sir Topham Hatt said, "you will work the incline until you learn to be patient and careful." "Yes, sir," said Duncan.
James is a mixed traffic engine. He can pull both freight cars and coaches. He's proud of his smart red paint, and so is his driver. Everyone says you brighten up their day, James. One morning, James whistled loudly at the other engines. "Look at me. I am the smartest, most useful engine on the line." "Rubbish," replied Thomas. "We're all useful. Sir Topham Hatt says so, and he's head of the whole railway." "You know what, James?" added Percy. "What?" replied James. "You're getting all puffed up." James huffed away. Later, he was still boasting. "I'm the pride of the line." "I saw you pulling freight cars," snorted Gordon. "You're only a goods engine." "I pull coaches, too." "Not as much as I do." "But Sir Topham Hatt has plans for me." James was only making this up, but Gordon believed him. "What plans?" Wait and see." "Oh dear," he thought. "Now what'll I do?"
Thomas and Percy enjoy working in the docks. They like the sea air and the sound of the gulls. But one day, the friends were feeling hot and bothered. A crane was causing trouble. His name is Cranky, and this was his first day at the docks. "You're useless little bugs," he called from above. "If you put these freight cars on the inside lines, then I wouldn't have so far to travel." "Rubbish," said Thomas. "No crane has ever complained before." "Well, I'm complaining now." And Cranky banged his load down on the quayside. Later, the two engines met Gordon and James and told them about Cranky. "Cranes are airy-fairy things. They need a lot of attention, like me, in fact," said Gordon. "You should see the situation from Cranky's point of view," said James. "He's high up in the air, coping with wind, rain, and baking sun. Then he looks down and sees you two little engines being annoying. No wonder he calls you bugs."
Skarloey had been to the works to be mended. He felt much better. Rusty the Diesel was helping him off his rail car. Skarloey hadn't met the little diesel before. Rusty seems a kindly sort of engine, he thought to himself. I help to mend the line and do odd jobs, explained Rusty. I hear everyone is looking forward to seeing you again. Come on. Peter Sam was feeling depressed. He was still getting over his accident, but he wanted to start work again. Sir Topham Hatt wouldn't let him. Another day's rest will do you good, he said. Besides, I've got a surprise for you. For me, sir? How nice, sir. What is it, sir? Wait and see. The surprise was Skarloey. Oh, said Peter Sam, I'm glad you've come home. They lit Skarloey's fire and he sizzled happily. I feel all excited, he said, just like a young engine. Now tell me all the news. I see you've met Rusty, said Peter Sam. Yes, I like that diesel. So do I, replied Peter Sam. It's a pity Duncan doesn't. Who is Duncan? He came as a spare engine after my accident, replied Peter Sam. Is he useful? He keeps busy, and I'm sure he means well, but he's bouncy and rude. He sings and sways and swivels around. His drivers call it rock and roll. I understand, said Skarloey gravely. His driver interrupted. Duncan has done it again. He's stuck in a tunnel. Come on, old boy, we'll have to get him out. Skarloey was pleased. He wanted to run and looked forward to meeting Duncan. They found the caboose and some workmen and hurried up the line. How nice and smooth the rails are, thought Skarloey. They've mended all the old bumps. The little diesel has helped to do that. What a difference Rusty's made to the line.
Bertie the bus was giving some visitors a tour of the island of Sodor. It was their last afternoon, and Edward was preparing to take them to meet Bill and Ben. He found it hard to start the heavy train. "Did you see him straining?" asked Henry. "Positively painful," remarked James.
"Just pathetic,"
grunted Gordon.
"He should give up and be preserved before it's too late."
"Shut up," burst out Duck. "You're all jealous. Edward's better than any of you."
"You're right, Duck," said Boko. "Edward's old, but he'll surprise us all."
"I've done it. We're off." "I've done it. We're off," said Edward as he finally puffed out of the station.
It was a moonlit night. Henry was taking a goods train to the station by the lake. Whenever that owl hoots, a mist rolls in, murmured Edward. There's a legend that when the mist's about, there's a ghost about too. Take care on the old line, Henry. Stupid bird, said Henry. Owls, mists, ghosts. Edward's going soft at the boiler. There's no mist. But Henry was wrong. What's that? Cried Henry. It's an amber lamp, murmured his driver. That means proceed with caution. Who's there? No one replied. Henry crept slowly forward. He stopped by a tree. It had a sign nailed to it, "Beware of the viaduct." The driver was surprised. No one warned us about that before. And look, the signal's red. And the gates are closed. And there's a fogman's coat. But where is its owner? Then they saw a light move within the station building. "Ghosts!" exclaimed Henry. "Edward was right." "Something very strange is happening," said his driver. "I think it's best we go back." "So do I," agreed Henry.
Sir Handel had been naughty, so Sir Topham Hatt made him stay in the shed for a while. Peter Sam was now busier than ever. He had to do Sir Handel's work as well as his own. He was very excited, and the firemen found him hard to handle.
Anyone would think that he wanted to work,
said Sir Handel, who was lonely and bored. All respectable engines do, replied Skarloey. Keep calm, Peter Sam, and you'll do well. But Peter Sam was in such a state that he couldn't listen. He collected some coaches and went on his way. But somehow, the faster he wanted to go, the slower the journey became. When Peter Sam finally fussed into the station, Henry was already there.
This won't do, youngster, said Henry. I can't be kept waiting. If you are late tonight, I'll go off and leave your passengers behind.
Said Peter Sam. Secretly, he was a little worried, but not for long. The conductor blew his whistle and waved his green flag. Peter Sam puffed happily away, singing a little song. I'm Peter Sam, I'm running this line. I'm Peter Sam, I'm running this line. What fun it all is, he thought, as he journeyed along the line. The coaches enjoyed themselves too. They were growing fond of Peter Sam.